Hey guys, welcome to the Rat Grind channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is episode 33 of the Rat Grind channel, and today I'm going to be talking about some of my stock investments, my trades, as well as the update on the crypto market overall. Today is May 22nd, so thank you so much for joining me today. So just a couple of reminders. First of all, if this is your first time joining me in this channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell so that you know when I put out new content. All right, as well as please smash the likes and don't forget to comment below. Let me know, give me your feedback. Let me know if these videos are providing you the impact and the value that you're looking for, or if there's any particular video that you'd like me to cover, please do let me know as well. All right, so some of the things that we're going to talk about today is the natural gas trade. The swing trade that I did went south today. For some reason, the market did not react in the way that I had expected. So I'll show you what happened there. So I lost about 4.33%. I know to some of you that might not be a lot, but my goals are 3% during the day, 2.5 to 3% every single day. So whenever I lose something close to 5%, that is huge for me, guys. So that's too bad, but I'm gonna give you guys some updates on that because I want to make sure that I am transparent with you guys and let you guys know the mistakes that I make as well. Also, cryptos are bleeding red today, so the markets are completely red. So right now I'm on hold. I'm holding all my crypto trades. Of course, my long-term holds, which majority of my holdings are in, that's still in play. But as far as my day-to-day trades are concerned, or my swing trades, my position trading on cryptos, they're all on hold right now, and I'm going into learning mode so I can be able to study these coins further and look at the coins that do have a lot of good fundamentals that are surviving some of these dips, some of these crashes that happen, pretty much on a regular basis now here in crypto, because the markets are so unpredictable, right? So some of the crypto news, some practical coin news that I want to be able to share today was the major cause of the FUD around the crypto market was there was an Operation Crypto Sweep that was being run by a cooperation between US and Canada. And there was also news about the Bank of England looking into launching their own central bank coin. Crypto could also pose as a problem getting security clearance from the US government. So I'm going to talk about that as well. And today is Bitcoin Pizza Day with extra red sauce because of the the blood on the street, the red markets that we're experiencing. And there was some news that came into the grapevine today, just this afternoon, that I was able to see that the U.S. Congress voted to ease regulations on the U.S. banks. These regulations were put in place to sort of combat the 2007-2008 housing market crisis and banking crisis, where there was a lot of bailouts that had happened. And for some reason, the government decided to, both the House, the Senate, decided to push this through. And now it's on the president's desk, and we will see how that pans out. All right. So let's get right to it, guys. All right, so the first thing behind me that you can see, this is my TOS, my Thinkorswim platform. Again, I was having trouble connecting my phone today so that I could be able to show you my Robinhood account, but you can see it from here. As you can see, I charted this, and I was looking to be able to trade this back up. My trade went yesterday. I took a position here. I bought this coin for about $25. I mean, took this ETF for about $25, and today it crashed, as you can see. Let's look at so you can see it much better. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. So as you can see, yesterday it was playing around here, and it was, as you can see, the RSI levels were on the oversold level. And so that's why I took that position, and I knew that there was a lot of supply. There was oversupply in the market for natural gas, and I was hoping that that would cause, bearish sentiment in the market, and that would cause this particular DGAS, which is the bearish ETF for natural gas. It's the inverse natural gas ETF, but that didn't happen. What actually happened is there was a bullish sentiment in the market, and the opposite of this was just UGAS was bought up, and that spiked dramatically. So DGAS lost about 7.6% today, and UGAS gained about the same amount. Let's check it out, guys. So as you can see, UGAS pumped today. And when it got rejected by the upper VWAP line, and it bounced back to the 20-day moving average. But still, guys, look at that pump. Look at what happened. Another thing that happened today was Gush. Also, let's check out Gush. All right, so Gush was going up today, and then if you didn't take out your profits, it crashed dramatically. And right now it's on heavy. It was on heavy oversold levels, and it went back up a little bit. But we'll have to see how this pans out. If we wanted to bounce, above the moving exponential line, this 20-day EMA, this blue line, and then bounce back down. Go down and then bounce back up. That's what we want to be able to see. So that is a confirmation that it's it's moving up. So I'm gonna see if I can play that tomorrow. I might do a day trade tomorrow. I'm trying not to day trade because of the fact that, of course, I'm only limited to 3-day trades a week or for every 5-day period. So that's why I try not to day trade. I try to swing trade. But this is what happens. Sometimes, the bullish momentum doesn't sustain and it just drops. And when you're not watching it, and you won't be able to sell it right away. So it hit my stop loss, and that's what happened. So it stopped me out from the market, which was a good thing because it dropped even more. So it does happen, guys. So you just have to learn from your mistakes and keep going, because you're never going to have a red day every single day. You just need to have more green days than you do red days and minimize the losses that you take. All right. So let's get right to the crypto market, guys. All right. So as you can see, the crypto market is bleeding red today. Everything is on the red. Everything failed. Everything. Bitcoin is, let me refresh this just to make sure that we have the latest chart here. Yeah. So as you can see, Bitcoin dropped 7,900, so it's gonna test the 7,800. Like we were talking about this weekend, we weren't sure if it would test 7,800 over the weekend, but that didn't happen. And what happened was it waited until Tuesday to actually do that. As you can see, the market cap today is $354 billion. So that's a dramatic drop, but we're back to that. We're back to some very, very bearish sentiment overall in the market. And the Bitcoin dominance is 38.3. So there was a major sell-off on altcoins today. And so the Bitcoin dominance, the overall volume that went through was in Bitcoin itself. So that's why at least it only dropped. It's still maintained. It hasn't dropped 7,800. But it can still drop. We'll look at the charts later, a little bit later once we go through this, so that you can see where we're at. As you can see, there's none. Everything is in the red. There was some green here, guys, earlier. Verge got hacked, so they got their proof of work got a 51% attack, so that's why they're dropping significantly. But earlier today there was some some green, like Bitcoin private, that's in the green 6%, but pretty much everything, some of them double digits, they dropped double digits. So Zencash is Wow, that was a pump there, as you can see. Um, yeah, I mean, for me, that's why I said, guys, this is the time for me to study. So I look at these coins. We're going through a Memorial Weekend coming up this weekend, so it's going to be a long weekend for me. I won't have work, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for my day job, but of course I still work. During my like right now, I'm working off hours and also over the weekend. But this is a time I'm trying to finish up the course um, that I'm doing for you guys, putting together all my research, and I'm going to study some of these coins. I want to see these coins that are not as affected by the market crash. I want to figure out why. Like, look at this, Cyber Miles. Although it took a correction, but it's been going up compared to like a Fusion, as you can see. If you just look at these charts, look at Made Safe Coin. It seemed like a lot of these privacy coins are not as affected for some reason. So I got to look into that a little bit more to see why those are. When the markets are down, this is the time for you to really study, right? I think a lot of Dogecoin is it's up actually. That's funny. Yeah. So overall, the crypto markets, like I said, is all down. So let's get right to the charts on Bitcoin. All right. So as you can see, looking at the Bitcoin chart that we've been looking at for close to a couple of weeks now, maybe a month or more than a month, it dropped 8,000. So that's what we've been looking at, guys, right? When we were predicting, we put this 8,000 level right here um, when I first started this channel almost, right? We wanted to see if it would hold up, if it would be able to break through this particular resistance right here. And if not, it had some good support levels. But when that broke down, and it tried to break down, it held up quite a bit for a couple of days there until it finally broke off, and then it tried to recover, and then it dipped below the 8,000 line, which is lower now than it has ever been in the last month or so. So now we're on our way down to 7,800. So I put this line right here. I added a new line. This is sort of this is a line that we could potentially touch, guys. See right here. I have this trend line right here, right? Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go to the 1 day chart, right? So you can see what I'm talking about. So I have this overall line that I've drew out from the last major bull run, and it looks like if it goes back into that channel, we could potentially hit down here to about the 6,700 level, and that could be even 6,500, which could be the another bottom, right? Because that's where the bottom has been the last couple times it dropped. So hopefully it doesn't do that. Hopefully it goes back up, but we're not definitely we're not in a good we're not in good times right now. This is extremely bearish, and for me, I'm not playing anything. I want to see what happens. There's just, I do have trust in the cryptos that I'm invested in, but at the same time, Bitcoin and Ethereum, I trade them, and that's where I used to have majority of my pairing. So I have to be very careful, guys, because I don't want to be able to. I mean, I don't want to make the wrong call. But the good thing is, if you dollar cost average, it's great because you're basically you're able to buy in at a decent amount. So for example, you get into, if you're looking into long-term holding, which I am as well. So my strategy right now, of course, like I said, from as far as the altcoins are concerned, I'm looking into just staying back, studying the markets, studying the coins, looking at the calendars, looking at the milestones that are going to be hit, so that potentially there could be some bullish sentiment that goes into the markets, right? So that's what I'm looking for. But as far as Bitcoin and Ethereum are concerned, which is because they're the major coins in the market, the schedules are not as important because of the fact that it already is a working cryptocurrency. It already has the technology. It's not just an idea like some of the altcoins are. And so there's a lot of market effects market conditions that affect it, unlike the rest of the altcoins that are more speculative. Of course, here in the crypto space, everything is very speculative, right? But at least for Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're actually models that are being used already. Banks are using Bitcoin now. Ethereum, there's a lot of smart contracts, ICOs, tokens that are in the the Ethereum blockchain that has a lot of use case for it. So, it reacts to the markets a little bit different. So I'll tell you why. One of the reasons why these particular coins drop, and of course, when they drop, the whole market drops because people are just sort of staying back. They don't have the same. They don't have the same conviction, in the markets. Once they see some red, a lot of people get stopped out. It happens, right? So let's look at Ethereum, guys. So we're looking at Ethereum Bitfinex. So it hasn't Ethereum on this particular case, it hasn't taken as a heavy losses as Bitcoin. As you can see, is still holding above the support line right here, but again, it's on the way down there. So it's there's some good support right here, but I think there's a major resistance here now, right? Look at on the 650 level. So it's gonna have a hard time breaking through that. We need a lot more for us to be able to break through that line. So hopefully it holds. It doesn't break down the support level on the 600 line. But if it does, then we could see all the way down to about $500, which I'm hoping doesn't happen, but it could, right? So we just have to, like I said, just stay out of them. From my opinion, don't follow. This is not financial advice. Like I always tell you guys, trade based on your own research, based on your own gut. That's what I do. Sometimes I make the right call, sometimes I don't, but don't copy my trades. Don't just take this as, what you need to do, but, just take it as a guidance of what I'm thinking about, what you could potentially be thinking about as well. So that's what we want to be able to see in this market, is we want to be able to see that it holds some of these levels of support. We don't want it to drop to 600. So 600 is sort of like the 8,000 level for Bitcoin, where currently it broke down. So now we're probably going to test 7,800. And if it does that, then, if it breaks down 7,800, then we can go down. So for that same level, 8,000 is like the 600 level here on Ethereum, in my opinion. So if it tests below that, then we could go all the way down to $500, right? So I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll have to watch this out. We'll keep an eye on it, and I'll keep reporting on it on a day-to-day basis. All right. So let's get on some of the crypto news. So talking about the Operation Crypto Sweep. So basically, Canadian regulators joined forces with the United States. Excuse me, to really look at some ICOs that could potentially be fraudulent, right? So they're really going after some of those iffy ICOs. But of course, a lot of these, because this is such a immature market, so a lot of these FUDs happen, and people just get some uncertainty of what could potentially be, what coins could those be, and so people just sell off. And when that happens, some people are stopped out. They have their stop limits, stop losses in place, and they just get kicked out of the market. So this was definitely a big catalyst for a drop in the market today. So let me read here from Doug Muir. He's a director of enforcement at the BC Securities Commission. Fraudsters are always looking for new ways to attract victims, and many are taking advantage of the popularity of cryptocurrencies to perpetrate their schemes. So, he also said, while not every ICO or crypto assets related investment is a fraud, the BCSE encourages investors to exercise caution and do their research before making an ICO or cryptocurrency related investment. So, and there's a lot of news all over the web about this today. There was something on CNBC where, let me read the quote here. It says the crackdown comes amid growing attention in the U.S. to cryptocurrency scams, including by the Securities and Exchange Commission, as well as the CFTC, or the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. The SEC has brought several fraud cases against operators of initial coin offerings, and last week launched a website to help investors recognize scams, right? We all know that that was the Howie coin that it put out there. So the thing with this is, it opens a lot of questions, to how a lot of these cryptocurrencies went about their ICOs, and will that come back to bite them? Like Ethereum, there was a lot of FUD a couple weeks ago, maybe over a month ago now, that was saying, did Ethereum issue securities? And if it did, then it's then it's definitely going to be facing a lot of regulatory compliance issues. That's very costly, and of course that's going to drag down the price of Ethereum. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we're going to keep an eye on this. Another news that I saw today was the Bank of England. Actually, they released, this is the Bank of England, they're the Central Bank of England. They published their findings on, central bank cryptocurrencies, right? So the central bank they explored three different possibilities if the Central Bank of England would set up their own coin, right? They wanted restricted access model, in which only banks and other accredited financial institutions can use it. So basically, they would use it as an interbank coin to trade and to lend banks to banks. The second one is like a semi-restricted model, where household and firms have access to it only indirectly, like transfers. Like you could use it for your MoneyGram, for your Western Union, for your Zoom payments and stuff like that. But it's still, you're not basically holding it yourself. You're using it as a vehicle for you to be able to transact, using this particular coin or cryptocurrencies. And the third one is a completely unrestricted model where everyone can use it at will. So it becomes like a de facto digital currency of that particular market. So in England's case, it would be like pound, the British pound coin, something like that. So we'll have to see how that all works out. But the paper is here. It's called, you can Google this. It says Bank of England Staff Working Paper number 725, right? It was published May 2018 by Michael Kumhoff and Claire Noon. So check this out. It's a 54-page document where it's a lot of technical information on it. I try to read it. I mean, I get what it's trying to say, but a lot of it is meant for bankers that know. So if you have a banking background, then you'll definitely understand what this says. So you can Google this. Again, just pause the video, check, take down what the title is and Google it, so you can get more clarity in this particular paper that they put out. So this is I think really good news, because at least they're considering it, and if they're considering it, I'm sure other countries are as well, right? So another bit of news that I want to share with you guys was, this is related to the news that I was talking about, like the crypto sweep, but this one is more for candidates of governments here in the U.S. in particular. So there are positions in the government that require you to have Department of Defense security clearances, right? Depending on the job that you hold. If you're like a government contractor that needs access to, even just slightly sensitive information, there are some clearances that you need to be able to go through, right? So the problem that it's posing is, because of people investing in cryptocurrencies, what if the cryptocurrencies become illegal? Then what would happen to those clearances? So, there needs to be more clarification on this, so that the parties could be able to decide what to do properly. So, Greg Tohill, who's the first federal chief information security officer, said that if we're going to say that if you got a Bitcoin or another digital currency account, that could be a signal or shoot up a red flag for a security clearance, right? So he said, guess what? Those people aren't going to sit around waiting to try to onboard for a government job. So it means that if people like get flagged, as they're applying for a government job, then they'll just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay in the private sector. I'm just going to go back to the private sector. So there will be a lot of jobs that will go unfulfilled, right? And so it will create a backlog in the government. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, right? So that's one of the questions looming in their minds. And the other thing is that they mentioned is, now there's as for the hodlers, they'll pass through the clearance process, okay, because it's clear they're just little speculators or outright delusional speculators. In which case, do you really want that type in the government? So there's a lot of question here that they're raising. They're looking at different scenarios on what it is. But again, you owning a cryptocurrency may or may not lead you to a government job, or you're not going to pass the security clearances from the U.S. government. So that's quite interesting. That's very, very interesting. So the last bit of crypto news that I want to be able to share with you guys was today is actually Bitcoin Pizza Day. So 8 years ago, in 2010, Laszlo said, posted, this is on the Bitcoin forum, right? He said, I'll pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas. And this is real, guys. You could check this out. You just type pizza for Bitcoin. You can Google this in this form. This is real data. This was at 12:35 a.m. So he said maybe 2 large ones so he could have some leftovers the next day. So think about that. Put that in perspective. This is 2010. He paid 10,000 pieces of Bitcoin for a couple of pizzas. Today, that's probably worth about $60 million, right? Or $80 million. My math is fuzzy. Sorry about that. But that's crazy. I mean, even $1 million for 2 large pizzas, that's crazy. And there's a whole conversation here. This is quite interesting. Like, look at this guy. That's quite a bit, You could sell those on Bitcoin market for $41. Man, that's May 18, right? That's crazy. So it's like, so nobody wants to buy me pizza? Is the Bitcoin amount I'm offering too low? Like, that's insane, right? That's insane. And he was just saying that because he just keeps mining so much Bitcoin that he has no need for them. This is insane. So that's crazy. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. You may be hearing about Bitcoin Pizza Day, and that's the reason why. I mean, in line with that, I just wanted to let you guys, Hashflare right now has a 22% discount, right? So up until the end of the month, they have a promotion. So right now, a contract for 10 gigahashes for Bitcoin mining is 80 cents per gigahash. If you use this particular code, I hope you guys can see that. I got that in an email because I do have mining contracts from Hashflare. HF18 Pizza Day 22. So if you use that, you'll get an additional 22%. So that's a pretty good deal. So if you are invested in Hashflare, if you're looking into getting in on some cloud mining, then that's potentially what you can do. I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but I'm just saying if you have decided that you want to do that, take advantage of it. Use the code that I'm providing you so that you could be able to get a good deal on a cloud mining contract. Their cloud mining contracts, unlike Genesis mining, is limited to 1 year, right? So after 1 year, it expires. So just keep that in mind, guys. There's on on the description, on my descriptions, I have an affiliate link there. So if you want, feel free to use that affiliate link. It helps me. I think they give me like a discount or something like that. I have never actually got anybody to sign up for it, so I don't even know. But I just threw in my affiliate link on the bottom. All right. So the last bit of news that I wanted to share with you guys was this. I was reading this right before I left the office today. Um, House votes to ease regulation of banks, and they're sending the bill to Trump. I don't know about this, guys. I don't know what to think about this. It's to me, it's quite ridiculous. We got into a financial mess here in the United States back in 2008 because of irresponsible banks. You know, they went ahead and sold off and packaged bad loans and pretty much almost caused the world to suffer. And so regulations were put in place to sort of keep them in check. And I know the push here was that credit unions and local banks were being affected because they were being stifled. Um, but then again, the credit unions and the small banks were not the ones that were bailed out by my tax dollars. I pay taxes, and they were these big banks were bailed out by the government to stay in business. And now the government is dismantling the policies that was put in place to try to prevent them from taking advantage of us again. So I don't know about this. I mean, I need to study up on this a little bit more because they're gonna dismantle the Dodd-Frank. I just know this on the top level, but this could go into law um, tomorrow by tomorrow. So we'll see how this all pans out. But I just thought I'd share that with you guys because I think I don't know what your opinion is. I don't know what your political where you are in the political side, and I don't care. I'm just saying that you know to ease regulations, it's like saying why don't we just let them take advantage of us again? I think before they should do this, I think they should communicate with the American people. They should communicate with the citizens to advise us. Okay, what does this actually mean? What we should get a say on this because they're using our tax money. You know, I really don't know what's gonna happen because this is an election year. So we'll have to see how this plays out in the economy, how the markets are gonna be affected, how opportunities are affected, as well as how if the banks are gonna start getting more emboldened now. I mean, we already know that they're trying to take over crypto now. Where in fact, just a couple months ago they were calling it all bad names and everything, right? And now they're getting in on it. So we'll see how this all pans out, guys. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens in the markets as well as crypto and how this affects opportunities in general. All right. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I was able to give you some value. Please do subscribe. Don't forget, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, right? And comment below. Please don't forget to comment below so I can produce more videos that you will find value in. All right? Well, until I see you tomorrow, until I see you on the next video, I wish you and your family a success-filled day. Good night, guys. Love you guys. Bye.